Interior Minister Mai Ahmed Fati and aides toured the police academy and vital facilities at the Banjul International Airport. Business associate of former President Jammeh, Tony GRTS, continues his testimony at the Jani Commission. Actions resume in the ongoing zonal championship. A day after match officials dropped the whistle over low wages. And Somalis mourn the hundreds that died in Saturday's horrific twin bomb explosions in Mogadishu. All these and other stories coming ahead this hour. I am Fatu Jassi. Thank you for joining us. The Minister of the Interior, Mai Ahmed Fati, alongside the Inspector General of Police and other officials, Wednesday visited the Yundum Police Station, the Gambia Police Training Academy, as well as the Banjul International Airport. The move, as Modu Bajan reports, is aimed at interacting with officials of the concerned institutions.
Beginning at the Gambia Police Academy, Chief Superintendent Ansumana Kinte underlined the significance of building the human resource of the country's police force.
Our major focus here is methodological aspect of teaching, so that they will be well equipped with that approach. Also, we have about 3 undergoing studies at UTG. My office has to appeal to you through the office of our IGP for sponsorship. For college, it's a scholarship, but for the UTG, they are struggling. As I said, capacity building takes center stage. Everyone here, quite a number of them, receive training, Morocco, Egypt, Ghana, Mali, and Turkey. And we are also in contact with quite a number of bodies. We want to look to go into partnership.
Having reiterated the substantial role of the police as key stakeholders of the Gambia's internal security, the Interior Minister Mai Ahmed Fati assured of government support as regards a well-improved police force.
Because we now live in a democracy, and that is to say the role of the internal security apparatus also has to be consistent. One of the importance of coming here is this is the incubation center. This is where our law enforcement agents are minted. And so it's very important that we come to this place and engage the command to listen to your constraints, to share your knowledge and experience, but also to assure you that the Minister of Interior, working with the Office of the IGP, and certainly the government itself, is very particular about improving the human resource capacity of the force.
Addressing security agents and other stakeholders at the Banjul International Airport, Minister Fati, as well as officials including the Director General, Gambia Civil Aviation Authority, Abdullah Jammeh, and Deputy Director, Gambia Immigration Department, Sidi Toure, reaffirmed the importance of professional service delivery at one of the country's main ports of entry.
Banjul International Airport, we have many entry and exit points in the Gambia, but this is considered the most strategic. When you check the volume of passengers that are arriving and departing, embarking and disembarking at this airport is second to none in this country. Therefore, the maintenance and sustenance of security for this airport wholly and entirely land in the hands of every stakeholder.
Regardless of what we hear and the challenges that we face, we maintain a very good airport in terms of security. For your information, Banjul International Airport is the last point of departure, meaning it is an aerodrome that can stage flights to any point in the United States of America. Few countries in Africa have this. So it shows that although we have challenges, we're also working very hard.
Commenting on the assessment of the day's visit, the Interior Minister, like other officials, described Banjul International Airport as very strategic in the enhancement of Gambian tourism, which is a key foreign currency and GDP contributor.
We are here at the country's only airport. Why the airport this time around?
It's important because there has been a great concern everywhere among our people in the diaspora, also our travelers from Gambia going everywhere. Tourism is here now. Tourism is here. It's important that we interact with the people who are here, so that they know what government priorities are all about, so that we can motivate them to do a better job, but also to change some of the negative ways that is substantially impacting on performance. Government is very committed. My presence here is to show government seriousness on these issues, and also to indicate that business as usual will no longer be accepted.
Modu Bajan, GRTS.
Tuesday's sittings at the Janneh Commission saw Tony GRTS and Usman Jabate, Deputy Managing Director, Gambia Ports Authority, testifying before the Commission. Isa Tuketa covered the proceedings and she now reports.
For what was expected to be a short session turned to be a different one at the Janneh Commission, which had the testimony of Mr. Tony GRTS. In his reappearance before the Janneh Commission, probing into the financial dealings of the former president, the former presidential business associate was taxed about the transfer of over $200,000 from APAM to the Gatsin company.
He said you have submitted to this commission all the invoices with regard to HMC. Yes. And these were paid to Guarantee Trust Bank. Yes. The APAM account. Yes. As well as the Shanghai account with Skybank. Yes. Yet we find Hainan paying $299,000 approximately the amount missing from APAM into your bank account in Gatsin Company Limited at Skybank.
This is a different business. It doesn't have anything with the HMC exported from Gambia. Sorry.
The Commission wanted to know more as they taxed GRTS how he earns his money, with September 2016 returns alone accumulating the sum of $300,000.
They pay Shanghai, Johnson Minerals, and I have percentage there. Okay.
What is the percentage?
It depends on the minerals concentrate quality, between sometimes $5 or $10 per ton.
And the $299,000 represented exactly what percentages that you earn from these countries?
Well, this is money accumulated for the years, and I have some business there, and when I need money anywhere, I ask them to transfer it for me.
And Shanghai pays you?
Yes.
But the money I'm referring to paid into your dollar account was paid by Hainan Funjang Mining Company Limited.
Exactly.
That question was followed by the intervention of his lawyer, who wasn't comfortable with the way questions were being posed. Lawyer Tambedu claims that the forceful manner of questioning was eliciting inconsistent answers from his client.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry to interrupt. Mr. Chairman, there must be some finality in answers that the witness given. This witness has consistently stated that he does business with Shanghai Zhongzheng Minerals in China. So all business dealings, payments are received by Shanghai Zhongzheng Minerals. But the witness is repeatedly asked the question, how much did you earn? Who paid you? But he keeps saying it is not him, it is Shanghai Zhongzheng Minerals in China. The question is asked so many times so that the answer may change.
Those questions included the precise portfolio Mr. GRTS holds in APAM and the involvement of General Baji into matters of the company. Usman Jabate, the Deputy Managing Director of the Gambia Ports Authority, came next. His testimony shed light on a number of issues, including the purchase of 2 ferries that were never used.
What are the names of these ferries, by the way?
Al-Jamdu and Kansala.
Right. And you can say truly that they are useless now.
Yes, they have not been operational since they were deployed.
I use the word useless. Is it wrong to call it useless?
Well, they have no use, sir.
No use, yes. Yes. Now, so what you really want to say is that these useless ferries were brought into the Gambia without first determining that there were landing facilities.
Correct.
Mr. Jabate is expected to reappear before the Commission on Thursday, when he will be bringing exhibits and other documents said to be missing in today's session. For GRTS News, I am Isa Tuketa.
Now, optimizing the benefits of migration for Gambian development and improving implementation, operational capacity and effectiveness is the focus of a 2-day training workshop organized by GK Partners Limited in partnership with the Gambia government. Mamadou Jai was at the training and files in this report.
Cognizant of the crucial role of the diaspora and migrant contribution to sustainable development, a new technical cooperation project called Migration and Sustainable Development in the Gambia, MSDG, has started a 2-day executive training for senior government personnel. The group includes civil servants, NGOs, and non-state actors. The training, described as timely, came after a period of self-imposed isolation from the international community by the previous regime, giving Gambian migrants and diasporans few or no options to contribute meaningfully back home. Opening the two-day training, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad, Honorable Usainu Dabo, lauded the enormous contribution of the diaspora and highlighted government's commitment to maximizing and harnessing the great potential that migration can play in socio-economic growth.
It will be remiss of me if I do not at this point reiterate the outstanding and continuous contribution of the Gambian diaspora in ensuring the progress of our national development. Their strong support and demonstration of commitment to the national cause greatly assisted in delivering our country from oppression and dictatorship. The role that the Gambian diaspora played in ushering in the new Gambia has strengthened the government's resolve in making sure that diasporas are seen as an equal part and parcel of an important constituency of the new Gambia.
The Swiss government finances the MSDG project with GK partners and the Gambia government lined up to implement the program designed to stimulate sustainable economic development. Professor Jibril Fall, a Gambian with vast experience in global affairs, is the lead trainer of the two-day event. Here he outlines his impressions and expectations from the training in an interview with GRTS.
Well, the future, the hope, the vision of migration in Gambia is that it becomes a matter of choice rather than a desperate necessity, so that people would migrate to pursue natange and their own personal progress rather than out of destitution and impossible circumstances in their country.
This short-term MSDG project, rolling up to December 2017, is being implemented months after the inauguration of the new government. The scheme builds on the initial induction and training of cabinet ministers conducted by GK partners, as well as subsequent programs for top government officials and development allies meant to prepare them with requisite knowledge and skills in the field of migration and sustainable development. Mamadou Njai, GRTS.
And to the press release from the National Assembly, the legislative arm of government wishes to inform the public that the oversight committees of the National Assembly shall pass the provisions of Section 102A and C and Section 1092 of the 1997 Constitution commence lawful legislative oversight over all public institutions, public enterprises and the public service of the Republic of the Gambia. The release adds that the oversight session shall be conducted in phases as herein below. Phase 1, 6 to 24th November 2017. Phase 2 starts on 8th January 2018 to 31st July 2018. Detailed schedules for all committee are being circulated to all institutions. The public and media houses are all invited to attend. As the committee session shall be held in public, the release concludes. The New Village Development Committee of Kunkujang Ketaya on Sunday embarked on a road rehabilitation at the Kunkujang Ketaya, Banjulinding and Tabokoto area. The rehabilitation brought together volunteers from 3 settlements. Aisa Sujata reports.
This 2-kilometer route from Kunkujang Ketaya village connects to Banjulinding in Kombonot, West Coast region. Residents of the village said it's the deplorable nature of the road that beacons the rehabilitation exercise, which attracted the participants of the entire community, including truck owners who made their vehicles available at zero cost.
This road during the rainy season, you have very big stagnant waters due to some deep, let's say, holes. And these holes all along the VDC have been trying to see how best we can come up with an initiative, contribute an amount, and then see how best to mend some of these big holes. And at the same time clear the ground so that it will be very decent. Yeah.
The village initiative was championed by the New Village Development Committee. The goal here is to make the road motorable, according to Maja Bugay, treasurer of Kunkujang Ketaya Village Development Committee.
The people of Kunkujang Ketaya village, let them understand that they have a new BDC, a BDC with a different. We are here, we are not receiving any payment, but it's a voluntary work. Let everybody know that this is one of the most important roads we have in Kunkujang. is a road that is very close to the market, is the road that is linking Kunkujang and Banjulunding. So let it be our responsibilities to come up with the contribution. Each compound is paying $100. Let everybody come up with their $100 to get, with that together, we'll be able to bring all the 65 strip of gravels and then make our road so that we can also be connected to the city.
For years, the condition of this road has remained a nightmare for the residents of Kunkujang Ketaya. The chairman of the Village Development Committee laments their ordeal.
We find it very difficult to reach our destination, especially during the rainy season. Drivers sometimes divert the main road, and with that, they double the fares.
The Kunkujang Ketaya Road rehabilitation work was also supported by the Geology Department and the Birkama Area Council, which collects tax in the community.
We wrote to Zoology Department, and then we were able to get 65 strip of gravels donated to us, and then the committee were able to come up with also some contributions which we all contributed, and then come up with that amount, negotiate with some of the native of the village who have trucks and the like, call them with their trucks. They also sacrifice, volunteer, and then bring their trucks. We also contribute our money and then started going for this gravel. Council has also contributed a quota. That they were able to give out 100 liters of fuel, which actually we appreciate it. But council, they are held responsible. It's their responsibility to make sure that they build feeders road. But obviously, who is council? We are council. Council cannot do everything.
And as the people of Kunkujang Ketaya fasten their belts to meet development aspirations, they are looking forward to the day government will finally put a tarmac on their road. Aissatou Jatta, GRTS.
Celebrants marking World Food Day have converged on the sprawling settlement of Farafenni to mark the event. The day was meant to celebrate contributions of women towards agricultural development and food security. Sene Marina was in Farafenni and he now reports.
The booming commercial town of Farafenni was the venue of this year's World Food Day, which is celebrated on 16 October of each year to promote worldwide awareness and action on poverty and hunger and the need to ensure food security and nutritious diet for all. The day also coincided with the International Rural Women's Day, set aside to recognize the role played by women in food production and food security. Change the future of migration, invest in the future and rural development is the theme of this year's World Food Day. The theme gives focus to the urgent need for investment in sustainable food system and rural development to help address some of the major global challenges of our time.
The present government is geared towards solving the problems of the rural people. It will not be easy, but we'll do everything within our powers to make sure the program that I have said here, particularly the modernization and the diversification of agriculture, will take effect immediately.
The FAO country rep, Madam Kalala, hailed the contribution of rural women and farmers for their contribution towards attaining food self-sufficiency.
This year, FAO decided that this is such an important topic in the world today, and it's certainly extremely relevant for many African countries, including the Gambia. FAO decided that this particular topic is so important for food security and agriculture that we really need to take some time and dedicate some time to think about it. Think about not just the issues and the problems, but think about, what is the way forward.
After farmers raised specific concern with the agricultural minister, Omar Jallo pledges government unwavering support.
Gambia cannot be self-sufficient in food and have food security and be an export-oriented nation without us mechanizing agriculture, and of course also make sure we make agriculture so successful that it will be attractive to the young people to go into agriculture.
Meanwhile, the governor of North Bank region is optimistic about this year's farming season.
I've trekked length and breadth of this region from Barra to Koludi. The crops are doing very well, and I'm definitely, without doubt, expecting a bomber head.
The day was characterized by a presentation of certificate by UNFAO to deserving farmers for their input to the World Food Programme School Feeding Project. Food exhibition by rural women were inspected by visiting officials who promised to support agricultural development in the Gambia. Now that the World Food Day come to an end in the commercial town of Farafenye in the North Bank region, the question now is, will the government respond to calls made by farmers at this celebration? The government should work hard to modernize agriculture. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Seni MK Marina.
Nyodema Foundation Social Development recently inaugurated its new office at Sokuta. The foundation is set to improve the lives and livelihood of Gambians in diverse sectors. And Sujak reports.
This organization, like many charitable establishments, is designed to intervene in key areas geared towards socio-economic development. Fully funded by donors from Netherlands and Belgium, Nyodema aims to nurture a transformative Gambia in which every child is given the right to access quality education and proper healthcare services. Speaking at the group's inauguration, Ibrahim Sabali highlighted the project's importance and initiatives centered towards mitigating the poverty rate in the Gambia.
Our aim is to complement government's efforts by providing scholarship to needy students, especially girls.
Secretary General Emmanuel Teki expressed his institution's plans to complement government's efforts in key development areas. Emmanuel went on to dilate on Nyodema's educational scheme, which is targeted to sponsor more than 50 students derived from underprivileged families.
We had taken a trip up country and visited President Village, Manka Kunda. There we were informed that their main constraint was there was no ambulance in the area to transport the sick and pregnant women to the nearest hospital or health center in times of emergency, so we decided to provide them with ambulance.
Guest Speaker Yankuba Diba outlined the group's pivotal role in social development. For Diba, this is a life-changing process which can greatly impact on domestic incomes and local livelihoods.
I am equally honored to be associated with Nyodema. Development is like an orchestra. An orchestra involves different players. You have the guitarist, you have the vocalist, you have the drummer, you have the soloist. Everybody needs to play their role to make music. Development is partnership. No one person can do it alone. And I'm happy that one of your main strategies involves building partnerships.
More of such humanitarian interventions are expected to roll out. Families who benefited from Nyodema Foundation have revealed the organization's far-reaching impact and invaluable support, particularly focused on providing education for children. GRTS News, this is Ansu Jack.
The 19th Congress of the Communist Party of China will officially open on Wednesday at the Great Hall of the capital, Beijing. The Congress, which will last for 7 days, is expected to uphold the banner of socialism with Chinese characteristics, amend its constitution, and as well as reflect on the work of the party for the past 5 years and plan for the future. As Rohibiti reports, a press conference was held Tuesday afternoon as a prelude to the Congress.
The 19th National Congress of the CPC, which will be officially open Wednesday, is said to be of significant importance at a time when China is bent on building a well-off society. In a press conference Tuesday afternoon, the spokesperson of the 19th Communist Party of China National Congress, Mr. Tuo Sheng, informed journalists that this all-important event for the People's Republic of China will draw delegates from all sectors within China to reflect on the works of its party for the past 5 years, formulate a program of action, make amendments on their constitution while developing and upholding Chinese socialism values. This, he said, a preparatory meeting was held earlier in the afternoon where a proposed list of members for the Presidium was approved, and the Congress will proceed under the leadership of the Presidium. The Congress, he further went on, will formulate a program of action and major policies and principles tailored to the needs of time, and set out overall strategic plans and their implementing step for the cause of their party and country.
Democracy prevailed in the whole drafting process, and comments and suggestions were widely solicited inside and outside the party. To make the report more inclusive, the party Central Committee issued a circular to all localities and departments to seek their opinions on what should be included in the agenda of the Congress.
Preparations of the Congress were said to have started since October last year, and these have seen the preparation undergo in several stages before today. One major important task that is anticipated in this 19th Congress is the amending of its party constitution, which is said to be an established practice of the CPC. This, Mr. Toh Seng explained, has shown from experience that making amendments to their party constitution is in line with new development and tasks, and can help every member of the party better understand, abide, apply and uphold its values.
The Communist Party of China is from the people, of the people, and for the people. The party has all along planned and managed major issues concerning reform from the standpoint of the people.
With delegates from diverse sectors and groups of the Chinese society, the numbers of women delegates and ethnic minorities are reported to have increased. With over 3,000 journalists from 134 countries around the 5 continents of the world, many are anticipating the outcome of the 19th CPC Congress, but one thing is certain, as required by the CPC Constitution. This Congress, which should kickstart tomorrow, will elect a new Central Committee of the party and a new Central Commission for Discipline Inspection. Rohi Bitey, reporting for GRTS News, Beijing, China.
We'll be back with sports news after this break. Do stay with us.
Isn't that cool? For a limited time only, you can stand a chance of winning bags of rice, onions, sugar, and 20 liters of pure vegetable cooking oil by maintaining a deposit balance of $10,000 to $50,000 in your GT Bank account for 3 months. And when you deposit over $50,000, you could win a motorcycle, fridge freezer, or a 32-inch LED TV. And even more, maintain over $200,000 in your GT Bank account from April to December and stand a chance to win a brand new Hyundai Tucson or catch a return ticket to Dubai plus $2,000 pocket money or a bedroom set. So start saving now and be a winner with GT Bank. GT Bank, save and win. Terms and conditions apply. GT Bank, wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Welcome back. In sports, match day 2 of the zonal championship was halted in dramatic fashion after referees boycotted the games amid protests over low wages. It is another needless development for the organizers. GRTS sport reporter Modula Minsane is following that development.
It happened without notice, and the outcome was a total embarrassment for organizers of the zonal championship. The widely followed community game was halted after a disagreement over payment of match officials. The referee's protest was in line with their request of an increment on their pay to $500, which until the timing of Monday's match day games was not approved by the organizers.
The Gambia Football Federation is responsible for fares increasing. So actually they wrote, this committee, the Referees Association wrote to the Subaltern Committee for increment, of which we were going to the letter. They just request. But if you request, you wait for your reply. After the first game, they came to get their monies. Possibly, they thought they paid them below. Maybe we paid them below. Afterwards, we realized that we should sit together and talk to them, because we are not the body responsible for increasing fares of referees.
The teams, on the other hand, were taken aback by the development. They came to the football ground looking set to take on each other. just to be informed that the game will not proceed.
I'm very much disappointed because with all the preparations that we made, everything being considered is a disappointment. Really, it's a big disappointment.
Here at the Serekunda West Park, where Lamen and Serekunda Central were scheduled to play, it took a long period for players and officials of the two teams to come to terms with the news, especially the Lamen team, who traveled a long distance to meet their hosts.
We are just disappointed that this is what is happening with regards to like referees' payment. I was totally shocked. I did not even expect this.
Supporters of both sides could not hide their emotions as they look visibly disappointed.
We prepare a lot, and we believe that we lose a lot for today's game. So based on that, we came here and expecting to hear the match or see the match, but we couldn't see any match. And it's frustrating, like all the fans are demanding for their money, which they have right to.
However, they hope that the misunderstanding is solved as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the referee association and organizers of the tournament have finally reached an agreement over the payment issue on Monday night. The previous fixtures have been rescheduled to later date. Reporting for GRTS Sports, I am Mudlamin Sane.
We will take our second break now. International news is up next.
Big my magi ci buntu kër gi. Jël naa kiw power bu yàgg. Dugalal gaaw. Te nag soo paree nga jox ma suma phone bi de. Dama war a wax ak ñu bari. Dugalal gaaw. Ma ne amuloon na ba kii de Morjo. Waaw. Golo am na almet. Allo. Morjo. Gañ nga ma dëgg kay.
Waaye ni jaay. Xaalis ma la ñaanoon nag.
Ban xaalis? Man yoruma xaalis.
Amuloo xaalis. Yaa ngi ni ji na kii power. Waaw. Feesal sa mobile bi ak credit. Di xool ku la neex. Nga ne ma amuloo xaalis.
Xam nga ko do mobile money.
Waaw.
Suñu kalpe.
Waaw.
Moo ma defal lii lépp nag.
Nga ne ma lan.
Xaalis daal laa dugal. Ñu may ma $500 QCell bonus credit.
Mais ma ko.
Xoolal ba suba. Te nag na nga am fula nag. Sa account bi dee ci dugal xaalis.
Dinaa ko.
Di ci dugal rek ñu la koy bonus. Nga di ko dugal ñu la koy bonus.
Dinaa def.
Gaañ dencal la sa xaalis may la QCell bonus credit. Xanaa nooy.
Welcome back. In Somali, hundreds of families are mourning following a deadly truck bomb that claimed the biggest number of lives in Somali's modern-day history. It's now been referred to as Mogadishu's massacre. Meanwhile, global leaders are condemning the attack. Abdul Aziz Below reports.
Somalia's president responds to a phone call from a concerned family member as more and more families continue to seek answers about the living and the dead. And for many, this National Emergency Center for now is their last source of hope.
We've divided ourselves into groups. There's an IT team tasked with data collection of lost victims, and we're using social media to publish photos of missing persons. This way, we act as a bridge between victims and family and friends.
The death toll has surpassed 300, with a similar number admitted in some of the city's major hospitals. Turkey, the first responder, sending its Minister of Health and a military medical plane to ferry some of the most critical cases.
We're here to offer any kind of help to our Somali brothers, especially at such a critical time following the directive of our President Tayyip Erdogan.
Several African and Arab countries have also offered to help Mogadishu as it comes to terms with one of the most deadliest terrorist attacks to ever hit the East African nation.
Al-Shabaab wants to eradicate the Somali population completely. The recent attack is a clear indication. They are our enemy and are only interested in destroying the future of this nation. They plan to turn it into a safe haven for terrorist groups. We will never accept that.
Among the dead, dozens of students, including this female university student who was set to graduate from a medical university in Mogadishu. The blast went off at the city's busiest junction, raising serious security concerns just how an attack of such a magnitude could occur in one of the most heavily guarded capitals in the world. More than 165 victims of Saturday's blast were buried in a mass grave. Medics are overwhelmed with hundreds turning out to donate blood in a show of solidarity. And 2 days after the attack, there is still no claim of responsibility for the truck bombing. But Mogadishu is pointing fingers to Al-Shabaab, a local militant group that was recently ranked the most deadly terrorist group in the African continent. Abdulaziz Bilo, CGTN, Mogadishu, Somali.
And that brings us to the 11 news, but before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's main stories. Interior Minister Mai Ahmed Fati and aides have toured the police academy and vital facilities at the Banjul International Airport. Business associate of former President Jammeh, Tony GRTS, continued his testimony at the Gareh Commission. Actions have resumed in the ongoing zonal championship, a day after match officials struck the whistle over the low wages. And Somalis are mourning the hundreds that died in Saturday's horrific twin bomb explosions in Mogadishu. Well, that was all in this edition of the news. Thanks for the pleasure of your company, and do have a very pleasant evening.